Gamer Feed Radio.
What's going on, everybody out there in podcast land? This is Gamer Feed Radio, and you'll be shocked to know that this week we're talking about a little Metal Gear Solid 5, among many other things that we thought would be cool to talk about. So, of course, this week Kyle is regrettably unable to join us due to pressing work concerns. Which, you know, I mean, it happens. I spoke too soon last episode, apparently. Which is, I have a habit of doing. And we're joined by the otherwise completely worthless Brad Wallace.
Hey,
Brad.
wait, now hold on. Now, wait, let's just back this up a second. I take very much offense to that statement.
You take umbrage to my...
I do.
And I say, well, that's good. If you didn't, I would be worried that you didn't have a pulse. So we have several different things that we want to talk about today. We'll start off with just a bit of some news highlights that have kind of come up in the last couple of days that we thought would be fun to muse about. And then at the very end, of course, we'll save the best for last. One Bradley Wallace will walk us through his impressions with many peppered questions throughout, because I have not played it yet, but Metal Gear Solid 5, which we may as well just turn the entire episode over to you, Brad. I don't even know why we do anything else.
We'll see.
I feel like this is very quickly turning into the Metal Gear Solid show. I
know, that's what I'm afraid of.
It's a good game. We have biases. We aren't shy about it.
It's arguably the biggest thing out from now until, Fallout or whatever.
Arguably. So we'll start the news off with, hot off the presses just today, the Nintendo, the one and only, made several announcements with regards to its transition from the late Satoru Iwata, RIP, and the new president, I guess, has been announced officially, and it's some old bald dude, which is a little disappointing, I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
And he, I guess, was formerly, way back in the day, and I mean, apparently before the Earth's crust cooled, he ran Nintendo of America.
Right, yeah, way before Reggie.
Right? Which, does anybody even remember that? I don't.
I know, it's so funny to think about that there was a guy before Reggie.
Yeah,
you don't even...
nobody remembers Nintendo back then, at least the structure. And then after that, he did something for Pokemon, and then he was the CFO and a bunch of other things. So basically, he's a number cruncher and a bean counter.
He was also a big, he ran Pokemon. That was his thing, right? I think he ran the Pokemon company until he became the head of Nintendo of America. Or maybe it was the opposite.
Or somewhere in his storied past. But he is, however, according to Kotaku and various other Japanese sources, the one guy in the company that said that Wii U was going to be a giant, colossal
I saw that headline, yeah. I mean, clearly he has a good foresight then.
Well, I mean, I don't like to give anybody that kind of credit until they prove it, but...
I think the Wii U is pretty much a dud, but as much as I love it, trust me, I love my Wii U, but...
No, I'm not talking about that.
No one can argue it's a massive success.
Well,
wait, what are we talking about?
Wait. The remnants of your love life. But anyway, anyway, what's his name was announced...
Tatsumi Kimishima.
Yeah, it reminds me of Chimichanga. I think that's what I'm going to call him from now on.
Chimichanga?
Yeah, we're just going to say, hey, remember that Chimichanga guy?
Kimishima.
And
Cat Kim is what I call him. Cat Kim.
But anyway, he took over the reins. Now, the other news that was less sort of announced was the giant shakeup, apparently, that's going on behind the scenes with all the divisions, the development and software divisions. They basically listed all of the major head changes. And there was a little bit of nervousness in most of the articles that I read that, because he's older, that one site claimed that he's really only going to be there for a year and they're going to transition some newer, younger person, which is great. They also announced that they're going to do this quote, leadership development inner circle of young kids that they're going to groom to be the next people who run Nintendo.
Yeah.
All of which sounds great. So my question to you, Brad, after all that long-winded BS, does it matter? Do we care? Is it good news, bad news, thoughts, jokes?
I think it's good to mixed news. So obviously, like Iwata was a developer, and we talked about this, at length during our Iwata Remember show. But like, this is a guy that actually had a background in coding and designing, whereas this new guy, he's literally just like your stereotypical suit.
I'm pretty sure he has an abacus in his office.
Yeah, like he's like the stereotype of just like business guy, which, in some ways maybe Nintendo needs. Maybe they were too hippie, loosey-goosey, let's make a tablet controller. That they need someone to be like, this is garbage, what are you doing? He's like kind of the reasonable, sane one amongst these, like, I don't know, he kind of reminds me actually of like Tim Cook to Steve Jobs, where Tim Cook's very much the numbers guy, or was the numbers guy at Apple. He was not the design, acid dropping, future thinking hippie. He was just like this very straight numbers guy. Not straight, you know what I mean? But that's not supposed to be insensitive. Trust me, I'm the biggest Apple fan and the biggest Tim Cook fan.
Yeah, you're a lot of fans for a lot of things. I don't know how you have that much room in your very large torso.
Talk about a little baby talk about the Apple stuff, but we'll stick on Nintendo for now. But
they are closely related.
Kind of. But wait, need a second here. No, but I think it's good, and I think the leadership development thing that you talked about, that's basically their way of almost admitting that this guy's almost an interim president. Like, I don't think he's really there to run the company. He's not going to be. I mean, not run the company. I mean, not be the face and head and voice of Nintendo like Iwata was. I think he's literally going to be a business-minded fellow. And then I think the two acting presidents, Miyamoto and whoever the other guy was, I forget which one it was. I think those two will be the face and voice that we knew Iwata to be. I think they'll step up more, if I had to guess, and do that while they're grooming these, younger leadership roles. But I'd be happy to see some of the younger Nintendo like developers and stuff get a chance to shine, because I know a lot of their recent games, like Skyward Sword's one that comes to mind, and 3D World for Wii U, Mario 3D World. These are like games directed by younger guys that aren't, in their 50s and 60s like Aonuma and Miyamoto are. These are guys in their 20s and 30s making these games, and they're still, magical Nintendo games. So they got it right. They got that kind of philosophy down, it seems like. It just might be a little while before they can actually start really running stuff, because Nintendo's a massive, insanely huge company.
Do you think that because he has former ties to the Americas, that will give Reggie's voice, if he had one to begin with, more play?
Actually, that's a good point. I didn't even think about the whole East-West thing there, but I could totally see that playing a hand. I could see Reggie. Obviously, I mean, it's tragic. Nobody would hope for Iwata to pass away and then a shift in leadership happen. But I think this will actually definitely elevate Reggie's position. Mm-hmm. Even though they're, Japanese companies notoriously not open to non-Japanese leaders. But I think that his voice will be more of an equal, if not the level that Iwata, the actual CEO, was.
Yeah, I mean, he's obviously the third pillar that was suspiciously absent from any of the announcements. And, I mean, you look at Reggie's involvement in just take the last two E3s, for example, where he was prime front and center in most of the Nintendo Direct announcements. There was a puppet of him. I mean, he was like in that trifecta of brain trust.
It literally was, yeah. Iwata, Miyamoto, and Reggie. Like, he was literally the third thing. Like, he's in the Nintendo Direct, it appears that he's like that level. And even the European head, forget his name, it's like Shibata or something.
Yeah, he was just announced, yeah.
Yeah, so like he's not even like the same level as Reggie, because Europe is obviously a much smaller market than America, and America is the biggest market by a long shot. So I don't know, it's just very interesting to see this cultural, national, faceted, armed company kind of have these different shifting positions and voices. And
it'll be real interesting to see what happens. I mean, obviously time will tell, but for now the announcement is what it is, and we'll have to hold our breath, hopefully not too long, and wait and see what happens. So along with Nintendo, since it's definitely related, the news of the Pokemon Go trailer that was released several days ago. I mean, I had friends on my Facebook page that I haven't talked to in years and years and years posting this stupid trailer on their Facebook walls because, you know, many of us were into Pokemon years and years ago. And everybody's like, my whole life is over. I'm going to be playing this everywhere I go now. So for those who live under a rock, Pokemon Go is like this AR semi-realistic, like you walk around with your cell phone and you can like point it in the environment and Pokemon will randomly spawn. You can battle other people from their cell phones. And there's like this cool little like wristwatch thing that you get that, you know, so you can throw the Pokeball. It's got like motion mechanics and stuff like that built in. It's crazy. If you haven't seen the trailer, definitely go to our Facebook page and check it out. We have a direct link to it. But Brad, what are your thoughts on Pokemon Go?
Well, what's so funny is literally before you even said your thing about Facebook, that was my first thing I was going to say was all these people that are totally not quote unquote gamers and really following, you know, the gaming industry and all this. I saw my Facebook feed like blow up with people posting about this Pokemon Go. Like, this is like really the breakthrough that everyone's been hoping for. And what's so funny is it was so quietly announced, I feel like. Mm-hmm. There wasn't a Nintendo Direct or press conference making this like Nintendo's first smartphone game plastered everywhere, huge marketing blast. It was literally like a YouTube video that just silently went up, and then people just went nuts for it.
Well, that's interesting that you say that because the reports out say that this is not part of the DNA partnership.
Oh, I thought that's interesting because not that I don't believe that. It's just I think Nintendo's logo is in the trailer, and I don't think because there's a couple Pokemon apps on the App Store right now.
Yes, I own a few of them.
Yeah, right. Like, but I don't think that any of them are like official Nintendo apps in the way that this trailer made it look like. You know,
right?
Like, I don't know. Maybe they were because Pokemon owns that company, and some or works with that company in a partnership in some way.
Yeah, I have no idea, but all I know is it looked cool as hell, and I am all about that.
Word.
It looked awesome. So since you brought up the Apple, I think it's important to note, and it does segue actually pretty nicely, since we don't usually talk about non-video game related items. It is worth mentioning that the new Apple TV was announced, and that the remote suspiciously looks a lot like a Wiimote with the strap around the wrist, and it's got a touchpad or whatever, which is slightly different, but that was included among its myriad of other announcements. Bradley, your breakdown.
Oh my gosh, I love it. I'm so excited for the new Apple TV. Like, this is, I think, going to be a much bigger deal than people are giving it credit for. I think this could really be like another
Apple's gaming nirvana.
Really though, yeah. I think it could be their version of the Wii breakthrough blue ocean hit. Like, give it a couple killer apps, which in their presser they didn't really show like a killer app. It was more like, oh, cute smartphone games that you can play with basically a controller. But if they really come through with some kind of blue ocean thing, not to mention the fact that it plays all your iTunes through it, like, I could see it being a huge deal, and I'm personally stoked for it. I can't wait to use Siri with Apple TV, if nothing else. Just being able to search for stuff using your voice.
Agreed. That stupid click and
that stupid.
Thing.
Oh yeah, the current remote setup and typing is just so bad. It's so slow.
It's so old iPod feeling.
Yes, it's like it's such a blast from the past, and it's so exciting that Apple's finally taking TV or TV set box seriously, like, I don't know. I'm excited for it. Because other companies have tried to do similar things, like Amazon has their box with a controller, which looks like crap. And Google has their stuff that's all garbage. And Roku has their stuff that's all garbage. Like, this could really be...
Roku is not that bad.
No, I'm just saying they aren't this. This is, like, literally a competitor to, like, the Wii. Like, that's how I see it. It's probably more powerful than a Wii, if I had to guess. And it's $150. Like, I don't know. I'm really excited for it. And I've always wanted an Apple TV. Like, my parents have one. We got it for them for Christmas. And I just use theirs all the time. Like, it's just so fun.
I mean, we have an Apple TV too, and it gets used quite a bit by the daughter for all of her child entertainment needs. But,
right.
You know...
it's great for full-screen Hearthstone. That's what I used it for a lot.
That's ridiculous. I would
like
never do that.
console version. Oh, it was so good.
I mean, hey, whatever you need. Okay, anything else Apple-y that you want to talk about?
I am excited about the new 6S, which a lot of people thought the new phone was going to be a failure, but I knew it was going to be a 6S. Did I already make that joke last week?
You did not, and I'm really sorry to all of our listeners that they were subjected
6S.
to that set of dumb.
That was pretty bad. It would have been way worse if I made it.
It's a great 6S.
Great 6S. I'm excited that they have 3D touch, which is a stupid way of saying force touch. But that could actually add another level of gaming interaction. You know, games with force touch, where you could be poking around like a normal, but then you poke into the screen and it does something different.
You know, so many jokes, so little time.
Poking into it? What?
So, yeah, I mean, I think the 6S will have its time in the sun. It sounds like the pre-orders are strong per all of the early reports. And I'm sure everyone is just drooling to get their hands on one. I have my 6 Plus.
Yeah, that's the 6. So.
Thrilled with it. I have no desire to upgrade to the next iteration, although the super jump in the camera and the touchscreen stuff and the way it's going to integrate is kind of cool. I'm over it. At least until the 7 comes out, and then there'll be a new design, and then I'll feel way better than all those people that decided to jump on the 6S bandwagon.
Yeah, you get all those features plus whatever the new stuff is. So.
Exactly. Or you can just join Apple's upgrade program for super ripoff and...
it's actually not that bad.
No, it's terrible because they're doing it through that stupid credit card company that they work with.
Oh, that is crappy. Okay, never mind.
So basically you sign up...
Barclays.
Yeah. You know how they are.
I used to work for them. Yeah, I know.
It's shady. It's shady.
Yeah, that makes me not as excited.
Because, then you...
I thought it was straight through Apple.
No.
Okay.
Come on, Apple doesn't finance anything unless it has a way to charge a premium price and make 300%, the cost of making it.
This is true.
It's a great business model.
That does change. This whole time, I thought it was. I wouldn't have done it, but I thought it was a reasonable deal.
Yeah.
If you like iPhone so much that you need the new one every year, and you're the type of person that would want Apple Care, I thought it came out pretty decent, but now that it's through this credit card stuff financing, it's a little shadier.
I don't like that at all. Plus, there's untold amounts of interest rates and other things that I'm sure are in the terms and conditions, the light gray watermark behind the text.
Indeed.
Over that. So we'll see, but there's Apple. So in other...
Oh, wait, real quick. Sorry.
Sure.
The 12.9-inch iPad could be a big deal in gaming. That thing's like a freaking tabletop.
It would be a big deal if it didn't have shitty mobile games.
Yeah, but... you get like Final Fantasy and stuff on there. But
mobile?
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair,
Hearthstone on that thing would be like godly.
If you would like to make that purchase, you can go right ahead and spend your precious thousands. The rest of us will use our laptops.
That price, oof. But I love the idea of it.
Oh, I do too.
People were sitting on the Apple Pencil too. But it's like, they don't understand.
Wait, they were doing what on the Pencil?
They were making fun of the Apple Pencil.
Okay, because what you said before did not come out right.
Okay. No, but like everyone on Twitter's like, "Whoa, Apple's dumb. They're making a stylus."
Oh, they're going against Steve Jobs. He said, "Never do it. Never do it."
It's like what they're doing is taking the wind out of Wacom tablets. It's like literally just for artists. That's like the only person that would need the Apple Pencil. And for an artist, an iPad Pro plus an Apple Pencil is like way cheaper than getting the equivalent that is currently out. Yeah. Not to mention you get an iPad with it, not just a drawing tablet.
Of course. No, I think it's a great idea.
Yeah, I was like, what are you guys talking about? Like,
I know people are like, it's a stylus, but not really, because I'm pretty sure the definition of stylus is that which comes with and attached to the device in some way, or at least that's the historical definition.
Yeah.
This is an optional add-on. And you know what? If you fall into the demographic of folks that needs something like that, a tool like that for your livelihood or for your impassioned hobby, who cares? Stop judging. Let people do what they want. If they want to buy a $900, whatever the hell it costs, pencil, fine.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think it's like completely brilliant, but
yeah, I think it's actually going to work real well for them.
Yeah,
I'm not in the least worried about it. In the least.
No.
All right, all things Apple, for those of you that care. Our fanboyness has just oozed so far this episode. But wait, we're not done.
It's not over.
It's not over. Okay, so next, of course, is we would be remiss if we did not jump on the hype train for Destiny: The Taken King, which, as of this recording, comes out in mere hours.
Oh, yeah, right. Sorry, future.
Mere hours.
In a black hole of time paradox.
That's right. Something. Well, I'll post this right after, but look, I mean, this is a long time coming. People who are players of the game who endured the extremely lengthy 20 gigabyte download for the 2.0 release.
Which I did.
Which made the game infinitely better than I think I had ever imagined it could be from a user interface perspective. I think everybody who's a fan of the game, myself included, I mean, I have it pre-ordered. It will start downloading, promptly on time, and I will have it at some point tomorrow in my hot hands, and will not stop playing the rest of the week. I kid you not, taken vacation time off of work so that I can play the game endlessly to my little heart's content, and I have the wife's permission. She is too good to me. She puts up with my crap.
Nice.
And so, I mean, look, the Taken King's coming out, all the new stuff, the new weapons, the new gear, the raid, the strikes, the other stuff. If you're definitely a Destiny fan, must have. If you used to play and you stopped playing because you got tired of some of the crap, now is the time to get back into it. It will not be at all what you remembered, except for maybe the great graphics and awesome soundtrack. But a couple of bits of news with Destiny, though, that I think are important. One is, you may have read about that, the composer that got fired, and then he was fired from Bungie because his music was supposed to be used in an E3 trailer, and then it ultimately wasn't. Activision said, no, scrap that, we're going to use our own crap. And he was let go because he basically pitched a fit. And,
Marty O'Donnell?
Yeah, and then he just won his lawsuit.
Good. I freaking was so pissed off about that because Marty O'Donnell's music in Halo and in Destiny is like arguably the best part of both of those games.
Yeah.
Like his music is so good. Like it's like literally John Williams to Steven Spielberg or George Lucas. Like it's like that level of just, it takes something that's amazing and just makes it so much better. That I've heard some of the new stuff, it just sounds like crap compared to it. Like it doesn't sound nearly as good.
Yeah, it goes for more of that thin, etheric-y feeling stuff. But look, I mean, the universe is totally excited about the game. The Bungie, to its credit, has done an amazing job on social media. I thought the Blitz campaign, the media campaign leading up to each week having a Twitch stream and letting people get a taste of stuff, just smart. Just really smart. I wish more publishers spent more quality time like that, showing and telling gamers what they're going to get, justify the value proposition of the purchase, why should I buy your crap? And I think I've just never seen a game publisher go to such lengths to convince you to buy something.
And what's so special, too, is that they had this terrible reputation for so long, right, when the game came out.
Yeah.
That they were out of touch, they weren't listening. So it seems like they're taking that really to heart and actually trying to make a difference, which is a lot more than you can say for certain other, game developers and publishers.
Who shall remain nameless. Ubisoft, Assassin's Creed. Anyway.
Maybe have not, beaten to death on this show.
Mm-hmm. Over and over again until they can't stand it anymore.
Ad nauseum. Right?
Mm-hmm. So, have you picked up since you did the update, have you played any of the new Crucible maps?
No, so what I did was I downloaded the update. I literally just logged on and got my crap that transferred and all this stuff. And I looked at the menus. I still have not actually played a mission or a bounty or a strike or a Crucible at all since the new update. But I did get I made sure I equipped all my old armor and all that stuff. So that my light level was up, even though it's not a light level anymore. It's more just a light stat.
Mm-hmm.
And then I made sure my level transferred over. So I think I was level 28 in the vanilla game. And now I'm a level 28 normal. And I like the fact that you can finally freaking level up a normal game to level 40. That's actually a reason for me, maybe when I beat Metal Gear and I'm kind of between releases that I'm picking up and stuff. That might be something I do is play Crucible and stuff to grind to get the actual level 40 again.
The new maps are really, really good.
Yeah, I played maybe 2 weeks ago, right before Metal Gear came out. And there were new maps then. I was surprised that they did that. I thought you had to pay for the new maps.
No.
And the updates. So I was like, oh my gosh. And then I was getting my ass whooped because I didn't know the map, but still, it was fun. It was new stuff. And I'm glad that you don't have to pay for it because me, I hate paying for DLC, but I love the idea of DLC, and I love the idea of adding to the game. And Destiny actually has done a decent bit of free content and updates in the year it's been out, which I actually applaud them for, even though they're trying to, squeeze you for that money for their expansions. But
hey, the new maps and everything that come with those expansions are quite good, and I have become a crazy, crazy Crucible person. It's really bad, and there's this great website. It's destinythegame.com/legend-of-u.
Yeah.
And you can type in your gamer tag, and it'll do a Taken King cinematic trailer highlighting some of your feats or lack thereof, depending on where you are. So, it came out and said, trying to see, let's see, what did mine say? Mine said that I was, if I can find this stupid thing. Yeah, so my highest score in Crucible that I ever got put me in the top 9% of players.
Whoa.
How about that, Mr. Bradley Wallace? And
hey, I was pretty decent in my prime at Crucible, all right?
No, I don't know. That was back in ancient times, where you
literally month 1 and 2.
Used a sundial back then, I'm pretty sure.
I think so.
and that I am, in fact, in the top 6% for most precision kills.
Oh, snap.
So
I had to draw that out.
So I felt really proud of myself today when I received those stats via my very own super cool Taken King trailer. Giddy up, go me. Apparently I'm better than I thought I was. I should give myself more credit. That's what my wife always tells me, but I'm hard on myself.
No, you should definitely be hard on yourself.
I'm worthless. I'm so no good. Okay, so one more thing on Destiny, and this is really interesting because IGN actually talked about it on their podcast, Fireteam Chat, which I am a huge fan, and if you're a Destiny person, you should listen to it. It's only a half hour a week. It's not that bad, and they do a really good job of analyzing everything in that time. The one guy on there is a big Xbox guy, and the last 3 episodes in a row, all he has done is whined and moaned about how
Oh, shoot.
PlayStation exclusive content and how that's unfair to the community. If I'm on Xbox and I spend the same $60 that somebody on PlayStation spends, why am I getting less? So, Brad, with that thought in mind, what do you think?
I totally agree. I hate exclusive, console exclusive, that it's like third-party stuff. Like, that bugs me. Like, if I were an Xbox fan, I'd be pissed about like Street Fighter V, and as a PlayStation fan, even though I don't care about it that much, like, you know, if I were a Tomb Raider fan, I'd be pissed about the Xbox Tomb Raider. Like, I don't think it does anybody any good. Like, I don't think it gives you that much more of a competitive edge. It's not like people are going to be rushing out in droves to buy frickin' Tomb Raider on Xbox. Like, you'd have to think that they'd be making so much more money just by doing both, whether it's in Destiny's case, both expansions on both systems at the same time, or what, but I don't know. Even the Call of Duty map packs that were exclusive, like, that's just, all that stuff sucks. Like, I don't like it.
So here's an interesting thought. Let's rewind back to the 90s. And, you know, Squaresoft, for example, was a Sony exclusive publisher. I mean, they did not publish on any, they had the occasional Nintendo crap game that they pushed. But the main Final Fantasy and all the other core franchises were on the PlayStation. So if I bought an Xbox, I never played a Square game.
Well, I guess in certain cases...
So who gives a crap? Like,
well, yeah, right.
It's like a choice you make when you buy the system, right?
Yeah, on certain levels, it makes more sense than others. Like, Square probably only had the resources to make that one version at that one time. But we clearly know that these map packs, for all intents and purposes, could come out on both systems at both times. And the opposite, when a game is on both, and then the sequel is only on one... That, I don't know, that really bugs me. And it even bugs me, like, by Bayonetta 2-wise, which is a Nintendo doing the same thing, except in that case, the creator said that the game wouldn't exist without Nintendo, so maybe that's what, I don't know, that makes no sense. It's not like, oh, well, Destiny wouldn't have made map packs if they weren't PlayStation exclusive first. Like, it's just a stupid argument. It does nothing but piss off half the base. And it's not like the people playing it, quote-unquote, early are getting that much better of an experience. It's literally just to screw over the other people.
So, but think about this for just a second, and I'm playing devil's advocate to a certain extent here because I want to get to the root of this.
Word.
I think the overall, I think the outrage is kind of BS, right? Like, from my perspective, it sucks for Xbox, but Sony was willing to put up the coin to get that exclusivity. So if Microsoft wasn't, or were outbid, that's business. And that's the glory of competition, and sucks to be Microsoft. Frankly, I think it's a POS anyway. So, you know, tough. Like you said, is anybody crying about Tomb Raider? I'm sure there are PlayStation owners who are big Tomb Raider fans and are wounded deeply, but Microsoft made a power play and did a bunch of stuff, buying up Eidos and all that crap. Or the licenses from Square to you know, have the exclusivity. So why is it such a big deal that a game maker has the capability of doing that? And if you think about it from a publisher standpoint, it's probably a lot easier, particularly in the Tomb Raider case, because I really only have to develop for one system and I don't have to worry about the other guy, and that's probably a hell of a lot cheaper on marketing and everything else. And they probably paid me a significant amount in the contract in order to get that kind of exclusivity. So as the publisher, I didn't have to take a loss. Right? I probably charged them enough to make up for the loss, therefore it was a worthwhile business venture. If you look at Destiny, Microsoft almost entirely snubbed Destiny altogether for Halo 5. So if you're Bungie and Activision, and you're looking at Halo 5 sitting on the precipice of release with the Guardians Collection Edition and all that crap, and PlayStation doesn't have that kind of sci-fi shooter genre really wrapped up in a bow like Xbox did, why wouldn't Sony do that and just say, hey, you know what, Xbox, screw you, you have Halo. You want the sci-fi alien shoot 'em? Go play that game.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't feel like it's that big of a loss. You can go, I mean, it sucks for Destiny, I guess, because you can go to another game and get your kicks. But Sony doesn't have that core title like that. It doesn't have a Halo, and it needed one, so it spent the money to get the rights. I don't see anything wrong with that.
Hold on, sorry.
What was that? Come again?
Timing. I was trying to not yawn, and then that was not supposed to be an over the top. Like, I promise. But
it doesn't matter. I mean, I was just going to say, you know, Every episode, you're either yawning, burping, farting.
I know.
Something's
I'm like the Seven Doors. Burp, farty, yawny. Those are the names, right?
I don't even know what you're doing.
I don't know either. I was, because my brain I went to, I'm burpy, I'm yawny, and I was like, oh, those sound like Seven Dwarfs names. Anyway.
Shut up. Speaking of dwarves, where's Kyle? Anyway.
Oh, hey, oh, whoa, hey, whoa, choo, hey, oh, what?
He'll listen to this and go, really? Really? You went there?
Really?
Like, yeah, you're furry or whatever his name is.
Furry? Can you imagine going to Disney World? Dad, I want a picture with furry.
And of course it would be Kyle standing there with some kind of horrible outfit. Oh gosh. The mental picture. If you need a picture of Kyle, everybody out there, so that we're not musing alone,
there's got to be one.
There are plenty on GamerFeedRadio.com and on our Facebook page, and you can totally see pictures of Kyle. It speaks for itself.
Nice. Yeah. Anyways,
he's well suited for the climate here in the winter.
Yeah, it's clear. Yeah, he's suiting up, as it were.
He was going to hate on us so bad.
Hey, well, I've had my butt kicked by you guys verbally.
That's true. We do enjoy hating on you in your absence. It's fun.
No, but anyways, back to the subject at hand. Console exclusive or third-party exclusives. Yeah, I mean, business-wise, clearly they're a good idea.
Yeah.
But, I don't know. It's hard to see the benefit from them even being the one that's getting the exclusive content, quote-unquote, or the early content, or whatever it is. Like, it doesn't... it's not like someone playing the Destiny expansion on PlayStation is just smiling, going, those Xbox guys, they can't play this. Like, I don't know. So it's a little weird to me.
I mean, that's what I do, but...
You just laugh to yourself like, they don't get this.
I do. I guffaw silently inside.
I guess, actually, now that I say it out loud, it doesn't sound as ridiculous. Because what PlayStation's basically trying to do is not just give their players exclusive content. What they're trying to do is build, and this is obvious, but maybe I'm just now verbalizing it. They're trying to associate, like you were saying a little bit, Destiny with PlayStation, so that if somebody wants the game, not knowing it's available on both, they're going to buy the Sony hardware to play it rather than the Xbox hardware, Yeah. Like, that's really where the investment comes in from Sony, and that was the same deal with Microsoft and Call of Duty. If some casual, non-gamer guy is like, everyone's talking about Call of Duty, I want Call of Duty, he sees, your MTV ad or your Comedy Central ad, and it shows the big Xbox logo at the end, then he's like, oh, I'm going to buy an Xbox. Like, that's the person they're reaching. It's not for the hardcore gamers. It's really for the casual people that heard about this big, humongous Times Square ad game, whatever, and they want them to buy their hardware. So, I don't know. I don't see the huge benefit as a gamer, but totally from Sony and Activision's perspective, this seems like a win-win.
Yeah, I mean, I feel bad for What's His Flake on IGN, I do, and all you Xbox peeps out there, but listen, I mean, you made the choice to invest in one system or the other, and, it's kind of like political parties, you have two sides, pick one. They both suck. And, you vote for one side or the other side, and you made your vote, you voted for the wrong guy. I mean, that's just how it is. So... at least in this case, but people on PlayStation are going, man, I wish I could play Halo. You know what I mean? Like, we're just over it. Like,
not to mention, not to sound like I'm some kind of elitist snob, but it's also...
You're not?
I'm just going to say that, I mean, these are just video games, all right? Like, so anybody that upset about, why can't I play my expansion on Xbox at the same time as the PlayStation? You just come across as like some... Like, dude, that's your battle in life? Like, is the Xbox... Like, I don't know. It's cool if you're into it, but it's not like I would rage. That's what I just love about... Not to go way off topic here, but talk about gamer rage in a wider sense. Like, Gamergate and all this stuff, people are like, oh, well, the publishers, they're buying off my favorite websites. And it's like, dude, they're video games. Like, what are you talking about? Like, you sit and you play them and you smile. Like, this isn't, like, I don't know, like, it's fun.
That's exactly what we all do. We sit there
just have fun. Like, why is that your battle? This doesn't need to be some political conspiracy.
Yeah, Ed Bundy and his tighty whities, hand down the pants, one arm in the controller.
Now wait a second. We're getting way off.
I'm just saying. There was a meme about that or something on one of the sites that had it was hilarious. It was like South Park did a spoof on it. It was really funny.
I'll take your word for it.
Yeah, it was good stuff. So anyway, all things there and now. Without further ado, as if it didn't matter, and it might not. Here are Brad's impressions of Metal Gear Solid 5. How many hours deep are you now?
Okay, now I'm definitely misspoke last week because now my actual playtime is like 32 hours.
That's what she said.
Hey-oh, but what? So this is where I'm at in the game. First of all, like I said last week, and like many countless reviews are saying, the amount of content in this game is like literally so insane that like it might have the most stuff to do in it of like any video game, like regular console start to finish game I can ever think of. Like it's up there with like Skyrim and Grand Theft Auto.
So not only was everything you just said a run-on sentence, but I'm pretty sure the grammar police are going, wait, I have to rewind that because I don't understand what you just said. I'm kidding.
Thing is,
kidding.
Stuff in the game. It's when you said it that I know. I as they were coming out of my mouth, I'm like, "What am I saying?"
It's like, all the excitement. You just want to gush all at once.
Anyways, right. So there's a lot of stuff to do in the game. Period. It's very fun. Period. No, but
I'm 3.5 years old. Period.
The cat is gray. The man is. So the game, massive, insanely huge, humongo, gigantic. So I'm 32 hours again. My completion rate is at like 35%, maybe.
So you're busting a rate of 1% an hour.
Yeah, that's literally that was the conclusion I came to. I was like,
pretty terrible stats if you ask me.
It's not my fault. I'll do like 5 missions and it's like 1%. And I'm like, what? But that was what? I need to act that out.
I am going to keep that in and use it as a sound effect for future episodes. What?
Please just kill it.
Nope.
I'm like so tired. My new schedule has me up at like 4 a.m. again. My life is craziness. Anyway,
it's good for you. It builds character. That's what I'm told.
It actually does. As I run on my sentences and stammer and stutter through my thoughts.
Flutter.
Anyways, the game is incredible, I should say. So, without spoiling, I don't know if this is really a spoiler. The game's been out for 2 weeks, but there's about 47, I think was the number, story missions in the game. And then there's like 150 side missions. And each mission can take like, 30 minutes or so, 30 minutes to an hour. Mm-hmm. So you can see right there just how insanely giganto the game is. But the game is broken up into a prologue, chapter 1, and chapter 2. And chapter 1 is like the meat of the game. That's like the real meat and potatoes and real Metal Gear as you know it. And then chapter 2, which I just got to, seems like it's a little bit more of an epilogue. It's almost like DLC. It's like after the story's finished almost, even though it's the same game.
After you were arrested and released by PETA.
Right, yeah. After you kill all the animals in Afghanistan, and you can actually make a petting zoo on your mother base, I will add.
Oh my god.
Not really a petting zoo, but you can make a little animal shelter. But the story, which we know I'm not the craziest story guy, but I will say that the story is definitely the worst of the Metal Gear games. Like, as I'm playing it, I won't spoil it because it's a very sensitive subject for many Metal Gear fans. But there's just lots of really stupid things in this one. And I know a lot of people make fun of Metal Gear for its stupid things, but this one's got a lot of them. But at the same time, it has some of the best, like, cinematic direction in the series. Like, it feels a lot of times like you're watching this really slick Hollywood action movie, more so than any other Metal Gear game. So what you're looking at looks better than ever and like flows better than ever, but the actual content of the story is just really lacking. And a lot of it is because they really took out the codec in this game. So instead of being forced to listen to these conversations, what they did was, maybe in an attempt to broaden the appeal, they moved all those types of conversations to these cassette tapes that are optional that you can find in like 4 different menus. So it's just like a little bit hidden. And when you do listen to them, they're not really that engaging. And especially because you can listen to them while you're running around Afghanistan shooting and Fultoning people and stuff. So you're it's like this weird disconnect between the story and the gameplay. I wish there was less story or that the story was better because it's just very mishmash. But I'm starting with the negatives because I still think that this is like mechanically one of the best games ever made and is easily the best game on the PS4 that I've played, like by a million miles. Previously, that title would have gone to like Bloodborne, I would say, but this game is just like the real deal. It feels like the first real next generation game, which is ironic because it's on the old generation consoles too. But it's just like completely amazing. Like literally every second I'm playing it is like gameplay perfection. Like every single mission is so insanely fun. Like, it's one of the best games I think I've ever played, like, easily. I love it. That's all I gotta say.
Well,
that's all I gotta say.
I mean...
I'd like to be prodded more, Nick.
Well, so. I may. So do you have weird, like, leg monster machines that chase you?
I won't spoil any leg monsters, but...
Oh, God.
Now, there's just a lot of... I want to talk about it, but at the same time I don't, so I'm gonna err on the side of caution of our... maybe upwards of hundreds of listeners. I wouldn't want to spoil it for anybody because that would be bad, and I would be pissed if someone spoiled it for me. Yeah, I don't know. It's just like very, very, very weird in certain parts. Like so weird that like jump of the shark level weird.
But like, I mean, that's Metal Gear. I mean, I don't know a single one that didn't have that part where you're like, what the hell is that?
I would say Metal Gear Solid 3, the one that takes place in the 60s, that one's actually pretty reserved. It doesn't have as many so ridiculous elements, but this one's very over the top. And I will say, I won't be totally negative on the story. Like, there are some really cool reveals and really cool twists and connections to the other games that are just, like, so awesome. And as a fanboy, I was all happy to see certain people in certain situations and stuff. But in general, the overall story is just really weak. And the conclusion of Chapter 1 was kind of weak, if I were to say. Like, in Chapter 1 is about 31 missions. So Chapter 2 is really only like 15 leftovers, it seems like. And I've done about 5 of those so far, and they don't really engage me that much. As much as Chapter 1 did.
Well, you're a very difficult person to please, generally speaking. So.
Oh, the game's a 10 out of 10. I mean, trust me, the game's basically perfect in every other way.
So, speaking of perfection, how is it doing on Metacritic and things?
Oh my gosh, let me check. I checked like when it came out.
I know, that's what I'm saying. Has it deviated? Has it improved?
It's at a 94 still, which puts it right up there. There hasn't been a game this whole generation, really, that's been that high. It's like Last of Us, then this. Like, it's pretty amazing.
Very interesting.
I still think, and I will still hold, I think it'll be the highest rated game of the year. I don't think any other game will beat it. Fallout 4 is the only one I can see coming close, but I genuinely think this will have the highest rating of 2015.
Well, we will all find out
Indeed.
Soon enough. Anything else from you, Bradley?
I guess we'll get to more of this later and stuff, but I mean later as in like next week. But Tokyo Game Show, coming up here. Should be a lot of bombshells happening from Sony here in the next 24 hours that will be, already out of date by the time people listen to this.
But that's okay. We'll have all the feedback and thoughts that most people don't care about, but we'll share them anyway.
Yeah, it'll be great. I'm excited. The big rumor is PS2 classics on PlayStation 4, which would be awesome.
I have heard something about that.
That was the newest little murmur to come out in the past, couple hours, 24 hours or whatever.
I think that's a technical term.
Yeah.
Yeah. Excellent. So we will have that and other exciting things next week.
Word.
So that'll pretty much wrap up this show. If you have any thoughts or comments about Metal Gear Solid 5 or frankly anything else in the Metal Gear series, definitely comment on Facebook or you can write to us on Twitter at GamerFeedRadio. You can listen to the show on iHeartRadio where everybody else listens to it and our loyal fan following on iTunes as well. We love you, mean it, and all that good stuff. Feel free to comment on iTunes and let us know, write a review if you feel so inclined. And of course, we're always interested in your thoughts on topics that you're interested in and what kinds of shows you'd like for us to hit up each week. So feel free to shoot us an email, gamerfeedradio@gmail.com, and let us know what you think, or you can just go to the really slick contact us button on gamerfeedradio.com and let us know. So until, and otherwise next time, peace!